everyone, it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and this week, again, I'm not doing a Pelot chat. I have Peloton essentials to share with you guys. So last week I did a Peloton review, and this week we're talking about all the things that make bike riding amazing, all the things that are going to help out make that experience even better. So I've got all of my little Peloton essentials and the things that I found that were indispensable over the course of the last couple of years. So the first number one thing, if you want to know like your zones for things, if you want to know your calorie output, your energy expenditure, a heart rate monitor is the way to go. So I have one of the Scotias. I can't think of which one off the top of my head, but I will link to everything down below for you guys. I have used this one since pretty much day one and absolutely love it. You can use your Apple Watch, but I find the heart rate monitor on the watch is not very consistent. So I went ahead and switched to this really early on and haven't looked back. I love this thing. It's just super easy. It lasts a long time as far as it's charged, so I don't even have to charge it very often. And I just strap it to my arm, and I thought going into it, I would replace the band and get like a really cool color because they have like hot pink bands, all sorts of fun colors, but I just have the band that it came with and have not changed it out. No, they change out really easily. They clip on and off, so you can put it on your arm easily, but it's also stretchy. So I just tend to like loop it onto my arm and put it on my forearm as I'm riding, and that's it. You just turn it on, it syncs up to the bike really easily via Bluetooth, and you're good to go. So it'll show you your heart rate up on the screen, and it also shows you your expenditure zones, not your power zones. It just shows you like your oxygen level zones up at the top, and I love it. I love having that metric on the screen. I love being able to kind of approximate calories, although I know that calorie tracking is, you know, iffy. I love having an estimate of that, and I love being able to see like how hard I'm pushing up on the screen with actual legit heart rate numbers. So definitely recommend this. And you can see I've had this thing for 2 years. It is scuffed up, and that's because I run into the walls. I'm like super clumsy, and I have bonked this thing on the edge of the walls plenty of times when it's like hanging off on my arm. I'm like swinging it around. Yeah, I did that. So that's why it doesn't look brand new and pristine, because I use that. And now as far as riding, you can just listen to the speakers on the bike. But if you're someone like me who you're riding around like kids sleeping, you're not gonna want the bike blaring. So definitely a pair of wireless headphones. Now the bike does have a headphone jack, but I find having wired headphones to be really annoying because you're tethered to the bike. And like if you're getting up and out of the saddle, it's kind of annoying to have that. So I have some AirPods. These are just the plain old regular old AirPods. I am an Apple person, so I tend to stick with Apple stuff. There are lots of different wireless headphones that you can use. The bike itself is Bluetooth capable, so it will connect really easily to that. And when I go to open these and pop them in, it automatically will connect to my bike. So yeah, great item to have if you're gonna ride where you're gonna have people around and you don't want them necessarily hearing it, or in my case, waking up to it. If I ride early in the morning, I do not want my kids hearing it and waking up early. I wanna have that time to myself. So these have been a very valuable product for me. And now as far as the bike, most likely, if you're anything like me at least, you're gonna sweat. Like you're gonna work hard, you're gonna sweat, and having towels are just a really good idea to have a towel handy. Now, most towels will like hang over the bike handles. You can like wrap it over the handles, but the Peloton towels have little like loops, so you can actually loop it over the handlebar, and that way I find it's really helpful because I don't have to take the entire towel off the bike. And this one does have makeup on it. It was the one I pulled right off the bike. I can just like hang it on the bike and then pull a piece up and wipe myself dry a little bit, wipe off the sweat, and it's great to have it there so I don't have to pull the whole towel and worry about sticking the towel back. I can just grab the little edge of it, wipe, set the towel back, and it doesn't potentially fall off of the bike. Like if it just hangs over the edge, I tend to accidentally drop it off the bike every once in a while. So I got the ones with the little loop on it, and that's been really helpful to have the towel that actually loops on the bike and I can't accidentally drop it very easily. So that's definitely an essential. Having some sort of towel really helps. And now on my bike, I ended up getting a little accessory shelf. I will show you guys right now. It's very dusty. You'll see, like I use my bike a lot. It's been there for a while, but I have this little tray that I have attached to the bike. It's just a third-party thing, and it helps so I can set things on it if I need things. So like my chapstick, that's an essential for me. If I have dry lips, it really just makes me think about how dry my lips are and I'm not really in the zone of being able to exercise. So I love having my chapstick close by. This happens to be EOS, but any kind of like lip balm chapstick type of thing works great. This one happens to be vanilla cupcake, which is a nice one. And then I also have my remote for my fans, which is another one of my essentials. So I usually keep my cell phone on the little tray. I usually keep my cell phone, and sometimes I'll like watch a tablet before I put a TV in. I'll have a tablet there, and it actually holds tablets really well. So I'll show you guys how that works. But I also keep my fan remote on there. We did end up upgrading to these tornado fans. They are wall mounted fans, and they're both remote controlled. And now the remote, I bought the fans separately as 2 separate fans with 2 separate remotes, and the remote works for both fans. So I just have to have one remote on my little shelfie thing. I can press the button and get both fans controlled, which is really awesome. Love, love, love these ones. I'll give you guys a little quick demo for these, and I did get these off Amazon, so I'll link to them down below for you guys as well. But such a great essential just to have those fans. Now, if you can't mount fans to the wall, or you don't want to spend that kind of money on fans, I also have a portable chargeable fan, and that's great too, but I find that it doesn't give me as much wind as I would like. And the downside to this is you do have to charge it. So every once in a while, mid-ride, it will die on me. And that's really, really frustrating. Like when you're in the middle of riding, you're sweating, you're hot, and losing your fan power is really rough sometimes. Like if I've got like 10 or 20 more minutes to go, it's rough to not have a fan. And then as far as riding the bike, I recommend having some shoes that you're really, really gonna like. I happen to have the Nike Super Reps, and they are great. I love them. I've had them since day one. I only have great things to say about it. They're nice and comfortable. They fit my feet well. I would recommend sizing up potentially because they are a tight fit. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna get the Nike Super Reps. There are like shoe size things where you can measure your feet with a ruler and make sure you're getting the right size you need. But I would recommend making sure you get a shoe that you really like, because if your feet are hurting when you're riding, it's not gonna be very fun. Okay, here's the fan that I'm talking about. It just clips right to the bike handles, and this will swivel and adjust any way you want. And then it just has a little on and off switch. You can power it up pretty high, so it's a nice fan. And then it just charges. Just a little charge port right there. I find that this thing has been a really good fan. It just ends up dying every once in a while. We ended up setting up a whole home gym with the big fan. So if you have the space, or you want to hang things on the wall, or you have the money to spend on the fans, I definitely recommend getting heavy duty fans so that you just have them. It's going to be something that we're going to use throughout the home gym. It's not just for like aimed right at the bike. So typically I will still have this clipped to the bike, and I can have this at like a different angle that the bigger fans don't hit. And that way I have lots of fan coverage. I feel like that's one of the main things for me, is like I sweat a bunch and I get super hot, and it's nice to be able to have all of that wind on me to cool me down. And speaking of going with that, there are 2 water bottle spots on the bike, and I find that the Podium bottles are really, really great. Peloton actually sells some too, but I bought a bunch of them off Amazon, and my kids happen to really like these kind of squeeze water bottles. So I will link to them down below, but I'll also show some pictures up on the screen. They're actually really cute. You can get them in lots of little colors and designs. They're something that we use all the time, so I can just put them right on the bike. And as far as where you're gonna place your bike, it's great if you have some sort of shelf or something to stick other things on. I happen to have my bike right next to a windowsill, so I can set things like a tissue box on there. I also have a little coaster on the windowsill, so I can put an extra thing of water there as well. So it just gives me more space I can use while I'm on the bike, because you are clipping into the bike and it is kind of annoying to have to get up and down and up and down. It's great to have like everything at your reach. So the little shelf on the bike top is great. It's nice to have a little shelf or window ledge right next to the bike, so you have more space as well. And I store things in the cup holders sometimes too. This last essential, before we talk about groups and websites to check out, the last essential is a TMI essential. This is active chafe gel, and I recommend this stuff so much, especially if you're going to be on the bike a ton, and maybe even like in the beginning when you're not used to riding on a bike. The bike seat itself can be hard, and even if you change it to a padded seat and change it out for something else and use padded bike shorts, you're still going to feel it like getting used to having a bike seat. So I recommend this for sure. This is from Summer's Eve, and I just bought this one on Amazon, but you can buy it pretty much anywhere, I think. It's just chafe gel. It's like this lubricating gel, and a lot of people use it for their thunder thighs. I would definitely recommend it for that if you need that, but I really need it for my underbutt, like the part that physically makes contact with the bike seat as you're moving. That can rub and chafe, and I use it for my underbutt. So my lady bits don't have any issues, my thighs don't have any issues, but that underbutt area gets super sore, especially if I'm doing a ton of miles all at once, which we're going to talk about groups and challenges in a second in this video, but that is just something that is absolutely essential if you have any sort of chafing and rubbing. And yeah, this makes a huge, huge difference when you're trying to do like, say, 100 miles in a weekend. Makes a huge difference having something like this. So now we've talked about products and things, let's talk about essential groups. So if you want to make the most out of your Peloton experience on the bike, there are some groups that make it way more fun just having other people to talk Peloton with. If you're anything like me, you're going to be obsessed with it. You're going to want to talk about it a lot. So it's great to have some other groups to talk with about it. And it's also great to have some groups to challenge you to keep going on the Peloton. So first we're going to talk challenge groups, and then we're going to talk more fun groups. So first up, there's a group that's not necessarily essential to having a bike. It's just a strength training group. It's called Hardcore on the Floor, and they do a core class every day, but it is this calendar that Nicole builds, and it is a strength training calendar, and it is serious, legit stuff. She puts this calendar together every month, and each day on the calendar has a few of the Peloton strength classes to do, and you can click the links on the classes. I use the Adobe Acrobat to download the calendar, and then I can click on all of those PDF links, and you can just stack your classes and follow this calendar, and it will kick your butt. Like if you want a really good strength program, she builds it for you. It is amazing. So it'll be like, this day is arms, so it'll be a 10-minute core, a 10-minute arms and shoulders, a 10-minute chest and back, like lots of different classes stacked together to make this like perfect strength training calendar, and I love it. I have used it on and off over the last couple of years of me having the bike, and it's just a really, really great group if you're trying to build strength and build muscles. It's a great way to get the most out of your Peloton experience, so I definitely recommend that one. I will link to that group down below for you guys. It's just a great one. And then there are two like bike specific groups. There's Pelofondo, and then there's Power Zone. And so Pelofondo is this quarterly challenge, like I'm talking about the anti-chafe gel, because this one you pledge how many miles you want to ride in this quarterly event. Every quarter there's this long Pelofondo weekend, and you just say, okay, I'm gonna ride 30 miles this weekend, and then you ride 30 miles. So you can join different teams for this event, or you can just be in the Pelofondo specific Facebook group and just have this camaraderie of like trying to hit these goals. So I ended up doing a 100-mile one at one point last year, and it was tough, and it was so nice to have the people challenging me and keep motivating. And some of these people go like 300 miles in the week. There are some really, really hardcore people in this group. And then a lot of people are just taking it kind of easy, like in the 30 to 50-ish type of range, I feel like is like the easier range. And I'm not saying like riding 50 miles on the bike is easy, because it's not. You know, you get tired and it's a lot of work, but it's also not going for like hours and hours all weekend to get like 300 miles, for instance. But I definitely love, love, love the Pelofondo. I've done quite a few of them. I've missed a few here and there, but I've pretty much tried to hit most of them the last couple of years, and it's a fun group. So people will start talking about Pelofondo way before those weekends come up. So it's a really fun group. There's a website you can check out. They do have their own app. The last like challenge group is called Power Zone, and this is an endurance-based thing. So if you want to increase your VO2 max, if you want to increase your distances, this is the group for you. It is a bike training program. There are Power Zone specific classes, like in the Peloton app, like you can find the Power Zone classes on the bike, but this is a specific challenge group where they make a program for like 6 to 8 weeks, and you just follow their program for those weeks, and it really works. Like you are going to ride a ton during those weeks, and it's going to challenge you, and it is a great group if you want to improve your performance. And some people use that Power Zone group not just to get better on the bike, but to be like marathoners, to be triathletes. Like they use this as a training program to help them improve just overall capacity. So I think it's a great group. I love doing it. I think I'm in my 3rd Power Zone challenge currently, and I will continue to do them. I really enjoy them. It definitely pushes me out of my Peloton comfort zone, and it makes me a better rider for sure. So I'll link to that group down below for you guys. And then yeah, as far as fun groups, there are tons of fun ones. If you're a mom or a lady, there are a lot of different moms and ladies groups. There's like working moms of Peloton, there's stay-at-home moms of Peloton, there's just the official Peloton moms group. There's tons of different specific groups. I'm pretty sure like no matter what kind of thing you want to find, there's a Peloton group for it. And then there are also instructor specific fan groups. So I'm a part of a few different ones, like Boo Crew is the Cody Rigsby fan group. I'm a part of Rose's Rebels, which is the Bradley Rose Facebook group. I really like him. So I'm in his little fan group, and it gets intense. Like they are really super duper fans of these people. So you can find one for all of the instructors. If you have a specific instructor that you really like, I'm sure you can find a fan group for them. And it just makes it that much more fun, like to do fun things with the people who really like the same instructors as you. Like the Roses Rebels group is so much fun. It's really motivating. They do Bradley Rose specific challenges every month too. So it's like every pop ride we're gonna try to do this month, or things like that. So it's always more fun to have more Peloton people to chat with about things. So I definitely recommend joining a few of those groups and really like immersing yourself in Peloton fun. And yeah, that is it. So if you have other Peloton essentials that you can think of that I didn't cover in this video, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you guys find indispensable for your Peloton experience. I gave you guys my top ones, and I hope some of those were helpful for you guys. So be sure to like, subscribe, check the description box down below for links to everything, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.